is going on? Welcome back. I hope you guys, as always, are having the best day ever. Before I get started, guys, if you are new here, please subscribe if you haven't already done that. We're on the road to 63,000 subscribers, and I would love you to join me on this journey. So hit subscribe right now and join the fam. And also, guys, go follow me on all my social media. Links are in the description. I have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and even Snapchat, so go follow me on all of those. And once again, I am coming back at you guys with another creepy video, and today we're officially on episode 42 of Paranormal America, traveling to 50 states of the United States, heading west to east and looking at all the creepy stuff that's happening each day along the way, which currently brings us to New York. But before we get started on that, guys, we have to jump right over to, say it with me, guys, Paranormal America. Welcome to Paranormal America. And today, we're talking about something that, oh man, I don't know how I feel about this one. Like, I want to goof off just to make the video fun, like I always do. But this one, I feel wrong doing that. So I'm just going to tell you guys the stories. It's kind of hard for me to talk about this one, but I decided to do it because, you know, 3,000 people, man. There's got to be a couple of spirits around there. So that's why I'm doing this story, because I genuinely believe some of these stories are true. Now, when you think of a haunted place, you naturally think of an old decaying building or a creepy road that's in the middle of nowhere, but never really in the middle of one of the busiest cities in the world. Now, we all know the stories of 9/11. We're all familiar with that. And I don't want this video to be about that, but I'm just going to tell you guys the stories that have happened since the 9/11 attacks. Now, I found it very hard to decide to do this one. There was a number of stories around New York, but they were all like similar ones to what I've already done, like people drowning in a lake and the ghost comes back. But this one was definitely unique, and I don't know, I just found it difficult to decide to do it, but I'm doing it. I don't know, I just found it difficult to decide to do this one since it's very upsetting. It's very depressing. Some of the stories I was reading was actually upsetting me. So today's been kind of a dark day for me doing this research. When you think about it, guys, 3,000 people died that day. That makes you think that some of these stories have to be true. There has to be spirits there, especially since all these people were murdered. Now, the first part of the story is going to be about a guy named Joe Laney. Joe Laney was a police officer in New York City on the day of the attacks. His wife called him at home while he was in bed, and she said something's going on with the Twin Towers. So he put on the news and he watched the second plane crash into the second tower. Joe then quickly rushed to Manhattan to be any help he could. He described the place as debris everywhere, trucks, cars upside down, everything was just a mass destruction. Now, 2 or 3 weeks later, he was sent to Staten Island, where all the debris from the World Trade Center was actually transported. And while he was there, he found a lot of disturbing things, such as personal belongings of people, such as rings, driver's licenses, and even human remains. Now, Joe worked through the night till 4 in the morning, and he was driving around in a Hummer around all the debris when he noticed a man walking through the debris. Walking through the debris in the middle of the night. Joe tried to follow him, but each time he did, he would disappear. Now, he as a police officer genuinely believed that this was the spirit of a 9/11 victim. Now, things got so much crazier when he later had a severe heart attack. But he did make a very fast recovery, only to learn that he was now attached to by spirits. Joe, who was once a skeptic, now believes that he is being haunted like a magnet to the 9/11 victims. Sometimes he has trouble sleeping because of them. They touch his face, they wake him up, they play with the lights, turning the lights on and off. They even manifest themselves as orbs and mist in pictures with him, and his wife has even witnessed all of this. It's not like he's going insane, his wife's witnessed all of this. Another story related to 9/11 is a hotel which is right next door to where the Twin Towers used to stand, and one side of the building actually overlooks the Twin Towers graves. Now, apparently employees at this hotel try to avoid letting guests stay on the side of the building that overlooks where the Twin Towers used to stand. The reason for this is very, very chilling, very disturbing, and I'm getting chills right now just thinking about it. But the reason that they do this is because so many people were reporting waking up in the night or looking out the window at night and seeing the faces of hundreds, maybe thousands of people pressed up against the glass, pressed up against the window from the outside, looking in at these people. Now that is just the most bone-chilling, horrifying thing to imagine. I can't imagine how upsetting that must be to witness that. It's just terrible, and there's been more than one person that's reported this too. It's very upsetting. It's obviously left them terrified, left them disturbed, left them depressed, upset, and I can understand why. That must have been horrific. But it's just, you know, when you think that they're not monsters, they're not ghosts that are scary, they're people who were killed in those buildings. They're innocent people who are going about their daily business when those planes hit the towers. When you think of it like that, it takes it from being scary to being really heartbreaking. There's another story revolving around the new World Trade Center, which is the tower that they've built in place of the World Trade Center to commemorate them, the Freedom Tower, World Trade Center 1, whatever you want to call it. This building has been known to make some really eerie, weird sounds. This could just simply be the wind blowing on the antenna, making like a wailing or a moaning, people have described it as, which completely like makes this weird sound all across the city. And some people really genuinely believe that this is the sound of thousands of people, thousands of souls crying. Like, it's letting out a cry, and that too is also kind of disturbing when you think of it that way. Like I said, guys, that one could just be the wind on the antenna. You don't know. Last but not least, there is another story which I find very heartbreaking, very disturbing also. But people have been known to be in the Freedom Tower between the hours of midnight and 3 o'clock in the morning, and they have been between the floors of 93, the 93rd floor, and the 99th floor. And they have said if you stand at the window at that time, you will see the apparition of a plane flying towards you and just disappearing on impact. This obviously leaves people completely terrified, completely depressed, completely upset, and basically make you feel like you're losing your mind. Now, I'm sorry this video had to be so depressing. I really didn't want to do this, but there's so many stories revolving around this place, and you've got to think that there's got to be some spirits. You know, like 3,000 people were killed. They were deliberately murdered right there. You got to think that there's some spirits still lingering around. And it's kind of heartbreaking to think about. So, but anyway, guys, question of the day is, do you believe any of these stories? Do you believe that some of the spirits are still there today? Let me know in the comment section. That is question of the day. Educatable! Are any of those stories I've just talked about the World Trade Center, are they real? As I see it, yes. And also, you guys know I've started this thing called Random Fact of the Day, where I like to poison your heads with powerful knowledge so that y'all don't have to go to school anymore. And today's Random Fact of the Day is, did you know there are more trees on the planet Earth than there are stars in the Milky Way? There's your Random Fact of the Day, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was depressing, but if you enjoyed it and you found it interesting or creepy or even sad, hit that like button down below, and let's see if we can go for 10 million likes on this video. I would really appreciate that. And remember, the most important thing, guys, chase your dreams. I love you guys.